Founded in 1973 by guitar prodigy Randy Rhoads and his friend bassist Kelly Garni, Quiet Riot was a band who struggled to get noticed. Record labels continually passed on the band, associating their sound with dinosaur rock. But when the group was offered their first big break, they tried to sabotage it. Let's explore what happened in today's video. Two young musicians, guitarist Randy Rhoads and bassist Kevin Garni, would end up recruiting singer Kevin DuBrow in 1973 and formed a band named Mach 1. Before changing their name to Little Women, they would eventually land on the moniker Quiet Riot. It wasn't long before Quiet Riot became one of the hottest bands in the LA scene in the late 70s, but they struggled to get much traction in America. They initially signed a deal with Sony Records, who released the group's first two records in Japan. But the band's label felt that Van Halen was the official LA band, so they got little support stateside. Also adding to the problems was the constant infighting within the group. Rhoads wasn't a fan of DuBrow and had a different frontman in mind, while Garni and DuBrow would come to blows. Garni would eventually depart the group after he allegedly attempted to kill DuBrow after a drunken episode. Rudy Sarzo would take his place, and Rhoads soon grew frustrated with the band's lack of commercial success and infighting. He would eventually depart the group and join Ozzy Osbourne. I've done a whole video about Rhoads' career and his untimely death, the link is down below. Once Rhoads left the band, Rudy Sarzo would admit in the book Nothing But a Good Time that he felt the group was finished. Sarzo would then depart the band and join Ozzy's band, but following the guitarist's death in 1982, he would rejoin Quiet Riot. Replacing Rhoads on guitar would be Carlos Cavazo. It would be record producer Spencer Proffer, who seemed to be the band's saving grace. He would reveal in the same book, "I was driving around LA and I heard the 1973 Slade version of Come On Feel the Noise on the radio on a pop station. It jumped out of the radio. This was anthem participatory rock. It invited people to participate. I said, holy shit, if I find a band to sing this song, then I might be able to get CBS, who I had to deal with, to pay attention to me." Proffer would end up calling his contacts in LA, who referred him to a band named DuBrow. At that point in time, Quiet Riot had temporarily changed their name to DuBrow. DuBrow was known as a band who would do anthemic kind of rock. He would attend one of the band's shows in LA, where they played to a small audience of about 20 people, but he witnessed the group playing songs like Bang Your Head and Party All Night, songs that invited the audience to sing along. Following the show, he would chat with DuBrow, who knew who Proffer was, and the fact that he had his own studio named Pasha. Proffer would end up cutting a deal with DuBrow, telling them he would give them studio time if they covered Come On Feel the Noise, and in return, he would let them record 3 of their own original songs. By this point in time, the band was done with Sony, and all the other labels had already passed on the group, so they agreed to the deal. During a weekend in the studio with Proffer, the band cut their first 4 songs that would eventually make it on their landmark record, 1983's Mental Health. Even though the band agreed to Proffer's deal, DuBrow didn't want to do a cover of Come On Feel the Noise. According to drummer Frankie Banali in the same book, Kevin was livid at the idea. He saw himself as a consummate songwriter. He didn't need to do outside material. Meanwhile, bassist Rudy Sarzo would add, "I witnessed a conversation between Kevin and Frankie in the studio about how to sabotage the song. The band felt that if they sabotaged the track, Proffer would forget about it and just use their other 3 songs that they were planning on recording. In order to sabotage the track, the band would agree not to rehearse the song and play it for the first time in the studio in front of Proffer." Banali would recall in the same book, "So the day comes to record Come On Feel the Noise, and we're in the live room in Pasha, and Kevin is sitting at this tall stool in the back corner of the room giggling away because he knew what was about to happen. I start that drum beat, the intro which I've never played before, and then all of a sudden everybody is joining in and we're playing that song." Proffer loved the performance, and according to Banali, DuBrow flipped out on him for not screwing up the song. Banali would tell DuBrow, "Well, you can F it up by singing like shit." And I turned around and walked away because I knew in Kevin's mind, he wouldn't allow himself to be the one that sucked. And he didn't. He sang it great, he'd remember. With the 4 songs recorded, Proffer would set up a meeting in New York with his contacts at CBS Records and played them the tracks. But the label showed no interest in signing the band, but after much convincing, they gave him the money to finish off the album anyways. CBS also hated the name DuBrow, so they went back to their old moniker Quiet Riot. Released in 1983, Mental Health's first single would be the track Bang Your Head. But the song wasn't an easy sell to radio stations. Proffer would admit in the same book he had to, and I quote, "mortgage relationships in a couple of markets. I called program directors personally, and there were only 4 or 5 markets in the country that played Bang Your Head. After those markets played the song, it soon became the most requested song on those stations. And soon enough, MTV, which was still a fledgling TV channel, asked for a video for the song. MTV would initially air the video at 3 in the morning and their phone lines blew up. The second single released from the record would be Come On Feel the Noise, which further catapulted the album up the charts, becoming the first heavy metal album to go to #1 in the States, displacing the Police's Synchronicity. The album would go on to be certified 6 times platinum in America. In 2005, 2 years before he passed away, singer Kevin DuBrow would tell Classic Rock Revisited, "I never loved that song, but by the same token, I never thought we were the greatest songwriters in the world. We were gullible, and I was an angry guy at the time." That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.